Welcome to This Is My Kind of Convo, where we're going to talk about different kinds of topics that interest not just us, but other people. And hopefully, we'll talk different topics that appeal to different people. So we hope that this is the show for you. All right. My name is Criss. Crystal, you can call me Criss, and I like to just talk about relationships, dealing with family, friends. I also like to talk about movies and TV. So most of the topics I may bring up will relate to like our friendships and things that are going on around us in the sense of like friends, families, lovers, things like that. But, also touching base on maybe movies and TVs once in a while. So those are really the things that interest me a lot. So if you hear me bring up topics, it'll mostly relate to that. And then I have my lovely two co-hosts here.
I'm going next. All right. So my name is Kimberley. It goes by Kim, aka me.
I'm done.
I mostly talk about I'm such a geek, so I do a lot of video games, anime, comic books, but also I can come at you with something I've seen on the internet. I am a big TikTok scroller, so I will bring that to your attention. Or am I the asshole of the day? So we'll get into that too. So, glad to be here.
All right, so I'm Crystal number 2, referenced as crisscross, and I will be nitpicking everybody's brain for these conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, anything that really gets your brain going. Yeah.
Nice. And from time to time, we'll have a guest, whether it's friends, family, every once in a while, just to talk about different topics that interest them or that they heard. So, we're women talking to the world, basically, and whatever. And hopefully this piques your interest. And if you're really interested in listening, tune into us when we are officially available
when we drop the mic
on different podcasts, hopefully very soon. So again, welcome to My Kind of Convo. So to kind of kick this off a little bit, I guess I'll start. I just wanted to talk about something that recently saw, and I had spoken to my family about it before, and it was this video that I watched. And on the video, there was a birthday party with several friends, and you
I don't
can
know if you
see,
saw the video.
Did you see the video?
No, but you told me the context.
Okay, so basically they have this party, and two of the guys are going off, and the other friends are going off at them. Basically, they all decided that they wanted to pay, split the check. That was how they were going to pay for the dinner. So the problem was, it was about 8 of them, and the check came up to $4,600.
What are we eating? Let's start there. Because when I go to a restaurant, if I spend $300, I want to faint. And if that's just me, all right, what did we eat?
Right. So this is my question. If you decide now, these friends, the reason they're upset is because their meals weren't that big, that weren't that high. They didn't spend that much. So why in the world, if my meal is less than $50, why am I splitting a $4,600 check? Right. Mind you, I have to. I'm not only just splitting my meal and y'all meals, but remember, birthday girl don't pay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm also covering her portion of the meal. So I'm asking, what should have happened in this situation? Or if you find yourself in this situation, what would you do? Is this something that should have been discussed before? Or is this something that, they knew what they was getting into, and so this is what should happen? So I'm just, throwing it out to my fellow sisters. What do you think about this situation?
I agree. You could definitely pre-plan this, especially if you are anticipating celebrating someone's birthday. Not everybody got it like that, you know. And not everyone is expecting to spend hundreds of dollars on said dinner or whatever, especially if it's like Wednesday and they're like, yo, we forgot it's so and so's birthday, we got to take her out
in the middle of the pay week.
right And y'all like, okay, we're gonna meet up at this place. I don't know about y'all, but I pull up the menu way ahead because, one, am I gonna like the food? Do you have an option that I know I can go to in case I don't want to try anything new?
Right.
And 3, you know, I don't want to spend buku bucks on, you know, a tight ass little plate. Like, I'm a big girl. I like my food. But 2 is, if everyone is anticipating that everyone split this check, it should be said prior.
Yeah.
Aside, you know, excluding the birthday girl because she shouldn't have to worry about who, you know, her part. But what else did y'all order? Like, did y'all order straight up bottles? Did you order crazy entrees? Was the cake a G at that? And was there gold on this cake?
Yeah.
Because that bill is ridiculous.
Yeah. When I first saw the video, I Kimberly,
Bro,
I was cracking. First off, not only that, did I see this video? Because we saw like the tail end of it. Clearly, we missed the meal. But when, because Kim,
did my research
Kim
because I'm a
showed the video.
CSI investigator, right?
That you are.
Right?
Yeah.
Went and found this man's page. Mind you, your wife saw all of this. Went to this man's page and definitely played the beforehand of this restaurant and how we got here. They first sat down. You know, they gave them hot towels to wipe their hands.
I had to pause the video right then and there when she showed me that.
So
Face.
the way I would have looked at that hot towel and said thank you and nodded at everyone and walked back to my car because I know y'all about to mess me up. I know you are. I don't care how great the food is.
Right.
But
My man's came out in white gloves with the tongs and handed you a hot towel.
right, so you
And it
should have
was
known that was
steaming.
3 months of rent. 3 months of rent for y'all bill. That was foolish.
I'm 100%
To underestimate.
I'm telling you right now. Well, I'm like you. First off, you tell me where we're going. You can't tell me they didn't know where they was going.
100% because you had to have that address.
Right. So you could, because they didn't bust it there, unless they did. But regardless, you should have known where you were going. It should have been a surprise for the birthday girl, not for
Right.
everybody else. But let's say you ain't do all that, right? I show up. For me, it's always about presentation. I already see white tablecloths. I'm going, oh, fancy, right?
right.
On top of that, now I'm seated, right? I'm looking at the menu. I'm going, ooh, prices, you know? But then the coup de grace for me is the hot towel. I could put my hand on all religious Bibles, okay? All religious articles. I can tell you right now, I have never been to a restaurant where the first thing they give me is a hot towel. I already know schmancy. I already know my bank account walked away. My credit card got out my pocket. My debit card said dip and left. Okay?
Yep.
I already know I'm in the wrong place. So I'm with you. Only thing is I probably wouldn't get up and leave unless I'd probably say, if they were like, so what is your order? I'm like, baby, it's on the table, the water. I'm not hungry. I'm good. I'm
Right.
here to support you. I'm here
Right.
for you. I don't want nobody to misconstrue that I didn't eat not even a drop of food, not even the
Right.
crumb.
My plate is upside down.
You know? But I kind of agree. Like, if you expect me to sit, don't expect me, like, I'm here to support, but I'm definitely not going to pay. I'll pay.
100%.
I'll be there to support and be like, okay, Sister Soldier's portion. You know, I don't mind because, of course, the birthday person doesn't pay. But then I also got to wonder, how much is Sister Soldier
What was they mean?
Hey, like, was
Alright.
her meal like $2,000?
So when they
Right.
started going person to person, he's like, "You got lamb chops, you got steak," and I'm telling you, these lamb chops was thin,
Yeah. No.
looked like they wasn't cooked all the way because I don't like my meats like that, and he ate them down to the gristle, that bone. So your lamb chops, which was faux, I know because a certain somebody pointed it out.
Right.
And it was like, it thin. So you know it's high end.
Right.
Somebody else had a steak. What piece of the steak was it? Was it the New York strip? Because that's only $20.
The Wagyu.
Right.
Right. That's the Wagyu part.
It had to be the Wagyu.
Because that's the
because
only
that's
way.
$120 for the Japanese Wagyu. The
Right.
A5.
Right.
All right. I see Wagyu on the menu. I say, no, Jesus.
She's like, "I'll look away."
All right.
No, I think all of that is just crazy to me, especially just the
If
atmosphere.
I ordered a salad,
Right. But how much was the salad? Like, where did you get the lettuce from that it cost?
it grew in the
More.
backyard.
Yeah, more than
Right.
We
Right.
picked it. It's organic.
Right. I think for me, the video that took me is the response of, I get the birthday girl was upset because she's all like, "This is my birthday." You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Regardless. But I feel like the other people who were accepting this and were like, "Y'all need to just pay your part," and then they're arguing like, "What did you come for then? Why are you even here?" For me, that part was like, "Are you for?" I would have responded like, "Are you for real though? Like, I'm here to celebrate my friend. I'm here to support her birthday. I'm
Right.
here to be here for her. But don't get me twisted. My pockets aren't that extravagant
Right.
for you to think that I'm just gonna throw down. If I got a $50 meal and now it's a $4,600 check,
And I got to throw down
That now,
$575
between
plus
the-
tax and tip.
there's
Right.
8 of us, but 7 of us now have to split $4,600 when my little meal was $50. You have got me twisted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You've got me messed up. And to throw at me, why are you even here? Why did you come? Bro, don't do that. Like, we're not
Right.
going to do that. Like, clearly, you know, I came out here to support my friend
Right.
on her day. So to kind of just backhand me in a sense like that. But, you know, just because you assumed we were going to, and this is the thing, you assumed we were going to split the check. It wasn't established.
A conversation
Number one.
needed to be had.
A conversation needs to be had, number one. Number two, if you figured we're gonna split the check, why would you go above and beyond on the food?
Right. 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 Right.
The only one I expect to maybe go above and beyond is, again,
The birthday person.
the birthday person.
Right.
But if y'all are all on the assumption that we're splitting the check and you figured, well, if I buy $1,000 meal, I don't have a full $1,000 coming out of my pocket because we're splitting it, then you got me really messed up.
Yeah.
Because that's
Absolutely.
that to me is just really selfish on your part
Mm-hmm.
to just assume that I'm gonna pay for your meal and my meal and everybody else's meal because you want to go above and beyond.
I agree.
And I think that was the part that got me in the video.
Definitely.
And they said, he did say also in the video, he's like, we're no longer friends, so I need new friends. This was someplace in Atlanta. And I was just like, we go out a lot, you know, and we always split check. But we also know if you paying the $200, you getting the $200 lobster, you are splitting, you're going to have your own check.
Right.
You're going to have a separate check. That's just the way it is. I am not. If I was in that party, 8 people, 7 people, we're splitting for, that's, like I said, $575 plus tax and tip. Now you know that waiter
Oh,
waiting for that tip.
Well, yeah, because they also put the gratuity in automatically for
Yeah.
party tables.
yeah,
So that's a fat ass tip.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying? That's a decent sum if you're going off of 10%, even if you're going off of 15%. Bro, that's incorporated.
That's over $400,
Especially
in
for a large
tip.
group. It's
Absolutely.
I think it's any group over what 5 or 6 is
Yeah.
automatic, like gratuity put in there. So, I don't know about in Atlanta or Georgia, but I know here in New York,
Right.
we're New Yorkers. It's already put in there for a large party.
Absolutely.
So,
And to, like I said, even if everybody at the table did have it like that, you still shouldn't anticipate that everybody is going to split this bill equally.
Right.
Because, yeah, I could have it like that, but it doesn't mean that I'm popping like that.
Right.
Because you know what I got? I got a car note.
Yeah.
I got bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and y'all know how life rolls. You know what I'm saying?
Day to
Every
day,
other
right.
day, especially out here,
Yeah.
you're popping your tire in a what do you call it? A pothole.
These potholes out here be real.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Like, that's not cheap neither, but homegirl.
Right. And the thing is, it was the audacity of the other people.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's like, now we getting loud. Now these are people of the melanin descent. Okay. They got some melanin in them. Now we in this fancy restaurant.
Oh.
And
yeah.
now we popping off
Yeah.
and getting loud.
Right.
Right.
Now, how does that look as if I was a patron who don't know these people? I'm here for a good time. It's my first time at this restaurant. All of a sudden, I see 8 people popping off in the corner.
Right. It's disturbance.
Right.
It's disturbing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They lucky they even got that video
True.
Right.
and started popping off.
Yeah.
Because any other restaurant here in New York City,
You got to go.
you got to go.
Yeah.
Somebody got to pay this bill.
Oh yeah. Start
Somebody, and it would be automatic because the manager would have came up. It's like, I need credit cards now.
Right. And you could
Or I'm
tell
calling the cops.
in a sense, like, I don't want to like assume, but you could clearly see a lot of them were very irritated and they were not happy on both sides. But you could tell in a sense, not one person was going to pay that full check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless they want to pop out a credit card and be like, well, all y'all need to pay me back.
Ain't nobody
Right.
got that on their credit card. Not them people. I saw them.
Because,
bills.
like, too, is if you think about it, with that amount of money, we could have threw you a party, homegirl,
Hello.
and it still would have been less than that.
Hello?
Right. So, like, it's just like for you. So, through Kim, birthday party recently in March. And I would say all together, we got an Airbnb for a full night. We got a private chef to come out. And, right. And it was in Long
Decorations,
Island.
The whole thing.
We got decorations, we got food, we got dessert, we got everything. All together, I would say would come up to about 46, if not a little less.
But we
You know
also
what I'm
partied
saying?
with 20 people.
And we partied it up with 20 people through the night. We
I
got
had
to
mad leftovers.
Oh yeah, got to spend the night.
Yeah.
People who couldn't stay left and went home, but the rest of us who knew we had to like clean up, we spent the night to wake up early and get the place spick and span. You know, all together, not even 46, because I could tell you the private chef himself was less than like 2. And then the rest of it, and the Airbnb was less than 5. So, and then if you just add up the food, let's say altogether about 225 to 3 was nowhere near 46.
So you
No,
talking-
and
we
everyone
did
who
that for
did help
20
to put in for the chef wasn't even that much. So it was kind of like they could have threw all of that for the same price in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it would have been quite the experience. They could have gotten loud. They could have acted up. They could have did all of that wherever they were
Yeah.
for it. So it was like all of that could have been avoided if someone had planned appropriately.
Right.
You know, it just brings back, when our situation, talking to Kim and I had a situation where we went to Bubba Gump years ago for one of our really good friends.
Been
And-
friends since we were kids.
And that got switched last minute from Applebee's to Bubba Gump.
So let's paint the picture here, because we talking about 15, 20 years ago. Not that far, but we're talking like maybe 10 years ago, all right? Ain't nobody had it like that. So when everybody initially that day said, "Oh, we're going to Applebee's," everybody already knew the menu. And this is the time Applebee's had the 2 for $25, all right?
That's true.
You had appetizer,
Yes.
entree,
Yes.
and dessert
Yes.
for $25, and you and one other person is eating for this 25.
Right.
So everybody was set. Everybody knew what was happening. I worked right next to the Applebee's. I'm like, y'all go get a table. I'm gonna meet you there.
Yeah.
You know, at that time.
This was in the city.
And this was in this is Manhattan prices.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 for $27.95.
I'm so
Right.
All right? Manhattan be up in
I'm
the
done.
price. Okay?
So yeah, we were
It was a nice
all
little group of us,
expecting.
too.
Yeah, we're all on our way. Not even. I think we were so close to the time, and then all of a sudden it got switched. Our friend's girlfriend at the
Last
time
minute.
got switched to bubblegum, and it was like, okay. And I don't think any of us wanted to like fight it because I don't think at that point it was much of a choice. It just was like, this is
It
where
was
we're
his
going.
girlfriend. She didn't want to go to Applebee's.
Right.
And was this the girlfriend that... I don't remember.
Okay.
But this one, it was just like,
Yeah. No. But regardless, we end up going and we started looking at the prices. This was before
never
good
been there
tech-
before.
This was before really good tech. Not to say before good technology, but none of us at the time looked at the menu. I don't think we were.
I was at work
We were
still,
at
so I was getting
work.
the text messages like, oh, we changed venues,
Yeah.
we going over here. I was like,
We end up going and we look at the price and we were like, okay, not the prices of Applebee's, way more pricey. And long story short, we still enjoyed ourselves. We had it, but when the bill came,
Right.
and we saw the bill,
anger,
everybody,
frustration. You know how in Lion King they said, deception, disgrace.
everybody looked at their pockets but the birthday boy,
Right.
because of course we're putting in for him, but we all looked at our pockets, which were screaming at us like, you ain't got this, girl. And I was like, you better find it, because none of us is washing dishes. Long story short, I know a lot of us had to put in extra that we didn't expect to put in extra. Some of us couldn't put in extra because they had a limit. And
Well, it was also that the girlfriend that changed this venue put in just for her share.
she did. She sure
And was
did.
like, I'm not putting in no more.
She sure did. She sure on top, but she ended up having, and it was funny because I think whatever was remaining at that point, she put her card and it got declined,
Yes.
and she had to switch to a different card. You see her face,
And us
Yes,
sitting there at the
she
table.
chose
The venue.
this venue.
And she's like, well, this is how much I'm paying and this is how much I'm putting on my card. And the rest of us looked at each other
Yeah,
like, who? You not even helping pay for his meal?
right.
Oh, we left there angry. Oh, my friend was very vocal about how angry he was.
Oh yeah.
And he had his kid with us. And he was a baby at the time.
You know, our other friend who came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a baby. He was very upset.
Yeah.
The way that Sister Soldier would have gotten screamed at would have been to another world. Why, may you ask? Because who the fuck is this woman? Like, how do you go and because you don't want to eat, it's not your birthday. I don't care where you want to eat. I care where the birthday person wants to eat and if I can afford it. Especially back then, because
Right.
we was only paying for unlimited text message. You know what we wasn't paying for? Data.
Are you kidding me? I think it was still almost around that time where it was transitioning from the 9 o'clock at night, you know, where it's
Right.
free.
Right.
telling you, this had to be like 8 years ago
Yeah.
or so.
Right.
No, it was
And-
way more than 8 years ago. Yeah,
No.
definitely more than 8 years. It definitely was more than 8 years.
Like that, it's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, no.
Yeah.
No,
Dumb.
no. Like, and that's, I can't. Like, I can't be, I don't like to be put into situations like that. I will tell you, I can't go. Humbly.
Right.
Humbly, because I know I can't afford it. Will I make it up for said person? Absolutely. Sure.
100%.
But said person also needs to be understanding that I ain't got it like that.
Right.
And if you expect me to have it like that on days that I don't, we can't be mutuals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's not fair.
Agreed.
Like, life is unexpected. And I don't I don't expect everyone around me to have it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm a very like I'm a low ball it to be respectful of everybody, whether they have it or not.
Correct.
If somebody in the crowd says, you know what, I got you with 50%, by all means, we have a little bit more
Wiggle room.
free frame to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, all right, we can amp it up a little bit, but I still want to be cautious to the people that don't or have restrictions to what they can and can't spend.
Right.
Because if I know that most of my friends don't got it like that, we can go to a dollar store and make a party.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And chef it up in our own kitchens, because that's cheaper than going to a restaurant and having to spend or dish out money that you don't have, and now you don't have whatever for the rest of the week.
Right.
And like,
Right. And the thing is, this person, she, because it was the girlfriend at the time, she was not part of our group. So she came in with him, with the birthday boy.
Yeah.
So she didn't know us from a hole in the wall. I think it was the first time a lot of people had met her.
Yeah, it was my first time.
And it was like, bruh.
It was kind of like, I'm being supportive because at the end of the day, you're the girlfriend and you're
Right.
choosing the space. I just found that it was just so last minute to change the venue. Number one, especially since it was something that was spoken about a while in advance. But I also just felt like, okay, so I was just saying, like, basically, I just found that she wasn't being very considerate for everyone else. I know you're the girlfriend. It's just like, if I did this with my partner, I wouldn't want to change it literally the date of last minute for
It was
everyone.
like less than 30 minutes before.
Right. And I also feel like I'm not being considerate because if everyone accommodated for a certain place, you know what I'm saying? It's not fair to then switch it up and assume that they can now accommodate for another place.
Right.
Especially one that's pricier and one that you wanted to go to for him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was just that situation.
She wanted to go to it for him at that time. She should have decided to take him out then.
I think so. I think that's what we all said. I think we
did
were just
at the
like,
end. We were
if
so
he
angry.
really wanted, she really wanted to go there, she should have took him himself. But all in all, I think for the situation that I brought up, I think we agree that that should have been a conversation amongst the 7 people that were throwing this for the birthday girl. I think that they really should have established payments, especially for the location they were going. I also think they should also have done research themselves.
100%.
We're living in a day and age where all our phones are basically walking computers.
Yep.
So you have more than enough capability to look something up before you get there. You know what I'm saying? If somebody tells you, I want you to meet me here, you look up where you're going first before you get there, right?
100%.
Especially if you've never been there before.
Yep.
So
I mean, Google mapping everything.
let's not act as if both sides weren't capable of doing something for that evening.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was my combo for the night.
I mean, I can go next. I'm bringing up this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con, and you know, comic. You know, it's
It started with yesterday.
it started yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, it seems as though, because I have not seen anything bad about it, that things are going very smoothly
Okay.
with San Diego. But let's bring up Anime Fest. That was a few weeks ago. Maybe like a week and a half ago or so. The crowds, the BO, and the everything.
I'm done.
Okay. So Anime Fest was in LA. Your face. And we have all gone to a comic convention.
Yeah.
We know it can be very stifling. It can be very bad. What had happened on this first day to Anime Fest was people got there and the line to get in was a 5-hour wait. Now, you can look it up on TikTok. It's all over. The line was a 5-hour wait just to get in. And people got there on time. Right. You looking at me crazy. It was over 100 degrees outside. You got people in costume. You got people sweating.
I'm out.
Sweat. BO. All that. People who ain't take a shower that morning.
I'm out.
Rolled in because they said Anime Fest is today.
I'm gone.
Once you waited in this 5-hour line, you got bustled into this building, which was like an entrance hall. Now you could not move the amount of people that were there. It looked like the sea of BO. All right. All right.
I could smell it.
Right.
Right. Gosh, we all know what that smells like.
So, this is not the end.
I'm surprised
though.
I still have nose hairs.
Correct. I have passed by people, oof, and just kept rolling.
Yes.
But that's not it, though. You are now bustled into this and have to wait an additional hour to actually get to the con floor. Now, to get to the con floor is 2 escalators.
Right. It was only 2.
It was only 2 escalators and thousands of people. These safety hazards.
Yeah, that were going
And then
on there.
for the escalators to then break down. People having panic attacks.
Yeah.
People being trampled. People being pushed. The unsafe conditions for a fan is too much.
Right. I definitely saw a lot of images and videos on Reels and TikTok on this. And I was thoroughly appalled. First off, you're lucky you even got me to wait 5 hours. I don't care how much this ticket is at this point. The fact that I am waiting longer than an hour is... And you know what? Let me be clear. I've gone to several cons, specifically NYCC.
And we went to Special Edition.
And Special Edition when they first had it, which plug, they need to bring that back. But honestly, I've been to quite a few cons. I would say about 5, 6, 7 almost at this point. And plan to go again this year. This will definitely be like my 8th con. But based on my experiences over the course of the year, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, it has been quite a ride and journey and experience. To address this specifically, I have waited in lines where I have gotten to con at like damn near midnight to get into Comic-Con, but that was only specifically because if I needed to see a certain panel, I wanted to see a certain panel, you had to get there early to get your badge tapped so that you can have access to this event. So I was more than willing to wait hours for this specifically, right? Which was okay at the time, because I knew what I was waiting for. You're telling me I'm waiting 5 hours just to get in to the con. This isn't even waiting online for something.
To get into the building.
So to get into the building, this isn't even me waiting online to go see something. This isn't me waiting online to get to a certain part of the venue or to actually this isn't me just going to a certain show. No, this is me to get in the damn building. 5 flip-flopping hours. Are you kidding me? I don't care how much I pay for that ticket at that point. Like, I am angry. And then when I finally get in, I can barely move even 2 inches in front of me. The sea of people that was in that place was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. The fact that there was only 2 escalators, there weren't even stairs. There wasn't any, I don't even know if they had elevators, but there were only 2 escalators to get from one level to the other with the amount of people there. Clearly they overbooked. 100%. Clearly they underestimated how many people were going to come. But I think the safety of it all was just, to me, just really appalling. Mm-hmm. I was very unhappy and very, at this point, fearful to see that, because it makes me think, I'm praying to God this year for New York Comic Con that is not the situation that we will face, or this will be my first anime con here in New York, face something like that, because, more people want to come out post-pandemic. Just thinking about last year, we went for what, 2-3 days, and we booked in the city. We stayed in a hotel, but the anxiety level, Sorry. So basically, I just found. I'm praying that this year isn't like anything that we saw in California. It was just. I had an anxiety attack that I have never had at any con last year, and to see that sea of people in California, that alone, just looking at it, gave me anxiety. I don't like people in my bubble. I don't like people really close to me, and the fact that these people were practically on top of each other. And look, I love people. I like talking to people and stuff, but don't get it too close to me. And body odor, for the love of God, you want to spray everybody, and that's just naturally cons sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's just naturally cons. You will get a couple people who's, woo, you've been gaming all day. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with the territory, but not in 100-degree weather with people on top of each other in a safety hazard. Like, to me, that was just unsafe for that. What occurred?
Right. And it just, and it's not the vendors,
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's, my thing was, we saw that this happened on day one, and we continued this until the end.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 days, there were safety issues. For one person said the first day they dealt with it. The second day they looked out their window because they had the hotel across the street from the convention center. They looked outside and said, "Nah, I'm gonna go at 2:00," and went back to bed
Yeah.
because it was 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, because at this point they know that it's just no point. If I'm gonna end up waiting 5 hours, I might as well wait 5 hours in my hotel.
My problem was, we went to New York Comic Con. There was still a mask mandate.
Right.
Day one, nobody mandated the mask.
Right.
By day two, you had
Signs.
employees and signs about mask mandates.
Oh yeah, they were enforcing it by day 2. They
By
weren't
day
playing.
2. Where was the security for this con?
I don't know. I mean, at that point, what do you think? Even if you're saying it's not really the vendor's issue, it really is their issue. Like, if you don't handle it after you see the issue, like, come on, you don't see the problem, then, like, and you're not filtering people properly. You know what I'm saying?
Vendors,
Now,
I mean, like the people inside selling their
oh, no,
stuff.
it's not their fault. But
The
it's
venue-
definitely the venue.
the venue.
It is the host of this anime, situation. So, like, once you see what's happening, why don't you make the proper adjustments to ensure that this doesn't happen on day 2?
Correct. And it's scary.
Yeah.
I would have honestly walked away too. $200 for a ticket? It's scary.
Worth what's more important?
My sanity and my health. There's so many people have panic attacks. No, that's a
Right.
negative. My mental health, I would have been nuts.
Right.
100%. All right. And that was me. I'm done. I'm over.
All right. So there are many, many conspiracies that I've been listening to, reading, so on and so forth. And there's a few that really made me, think a little bit harder.
Okay.
One of them is how now another influencer had talked about this on their podcast, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And it's about the moon.
Okay.
So, there are a lot of people that believe that there is no accurate or real picture of the moon. And so the influencer was going on to say how if you went to take a picture of the moon and, you zoomed in or whatever, everyone gets typically the same version of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I know. So they took a piece of paper, drew a circle on it, and took a picture of it with their phone, and their phone created a standard picture of the moon, which is super freaky and super gnarly. Is it a glitch? I don't know.
What phone that is?
Wait. Repeat that part again. So they drew a picture.
It was just a circle on a piece of paper.
They just drew a circle.
Yeah, to see if the phone would or create imaging or images similar to the moon. Because when
was it AI? Like, what phone was this that it just I'm so sorry that it just created the imagery of the moon. Like,
and not like a tire.
Right.
Because tires are circles.
Did it stock photos some like Google search?
Beats me.
Or a basketball.
I just saw that. I just saw it earlier today. I didn't dig too deep into it because I was, in and out of sleep. But
I'm like thinking of everything that's a circle, like a bagel, a donut.
Like I don't think it would
circle.
work with like a donut or a circle. But
like they just made a circle.
Yeah, on a piece of paper, and like.
And then they put the camera on it, and it just came up with a moon?
Like they took a picture of it, and it made, all the details, like the photos of the moon that are out there.
Did they Google? I'm so confused.
It don't make sense.
Like if I was to take out my phone right now and draw a damn circle and then just took a picture of it, it would just show me the moon?
Maybe.
What the fuck?
Maybe, but probably not, since I'm talking about it.
I know all our phones are listening to us right now.
But it was a very interesting theory.
Did they was this a video?
So the podcast, the influencer did put a clip of his podcast, and that's what I stumbled upon. I didn't listen to the full podcast.
Okay. I want to know if they actively did it themselves.
Yeah, because typically, like, their podcast, they do go more into, like, paranormal stuff and conspiracies and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that just happened to be one of the ones he actually tried.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it to y'all shortly.
Yes.
I'm just trying to see, like I'm trying to think. So are they saying that what we are actually
looking at is a piece of paper?
No, I think the gist of it is that, because there are other conspiracies about the moon,
right?
In which we have not seen the dark side of the moon,
100%,
and that there are files, if you will, of previous astronauts or etc. who have explored the moon and found a crashed ship, in which there was a woman who was on this ship, and she was passed away, and her body was mummified in it, but well preserved, and she has, I could be wrong when I say this, but she did have I believe it was Peruvian kind of, details to her. And there are people that believe that there is life on the moon.
Yeah.
So they believe that the government,
I believe that,
controls that aspect, because yes, you can see it through a telescope, but you can't zoom in on a telescope necessarily.
Right.
At least not what's allowed or provided to us.
To us. Yeah, to us
right.
Specifically.
I 100% believe there's life on the moon. Why? Because how many rovers have we sent up there and all of a sudden they've gone missing?
Right.
Or they're gone. How you just do that?
Right.
But they were good for the 15 days they were there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden when the sun went away, because they're all solar powered,
right,
they disappear. We have no contact. We know the sun's supposed to be coming back on this side of the moon. Nothing. Where they at though? But then we have sent people to the moon, which is a whole different conspiracy theory that I am not willing to touch at this moment. And they didn't even go to the dark side of the moon.
Right.
They took 3 to 4 steps and walked back into their little capsule.
Right.
And came back to Earth. So said, so done. Right? But we've never gone back to the moon, which is the closest asteroid or planet or whatever you want to call it to our planet.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? But we can put people in a space station that orbits the Earth, but we cannot get anyone back to the moon
Right.
Yeah.
to retrieve the 4, 5, 6 rovers
Mm-hmm.
that have gone missing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but the assumption that at the time when they sent, I'm doing air quotes, sent someone to the moon, and we had such good quality camera.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
had great imagery of this guy just walking on the moon. You know what I'm saying? Okay, of course, we all know the conspiracy behind that it's probably staged. But I do find it interesting we can't get another camera up there.
At
Yeah,
all.
like a good camera. Just put it down. We don't need the person to stay. Just
But we have
Put a
people
camera
on a
and keep it
space
moving.
station that see the moon every day
Right.
yeah.
with their naked eye.
Right.
But not one of them can jump out the space station
I take a good picture.
to take a great picture. But how many of them have taken pictures of the Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Tons.
Which is a whole nother other conspiracy.
Right.
That
Whole nother thing on its own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they've taken pictures of the Earth from space.
Right.
But we can't get nobody back to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
The rovers keep disappearing because they solar powered
Mhm.
and they just died. So supposedly they just die after some time. My solar panels ain't never died on my house.
I'm so done. I'm just kind of
We
like,
ain't got solar panels on the house, but I'm just saying.
I just want to know the point of all of this hiding. I mean, they always say it's because they don't want us to know, or they're trying to protect us from what's the truth, and it's kind of like, well, if it's there, it's there. What else are we gonna do? So to hear that I make a circle
Mm-hmm.
and my camera on my phone
Mm-hmm.
is protecting me from something, because what is going to be so mind blowing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I only have one life.
Mm-hmm.
I only have as many minutes, days, hours, on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going to be mind blowing that I can't know before I cross over?
The
Right.
alien took you.
Right, right.
At this point, I think aliens are better than humans, because you also have, like, if I stay in the realm of like space and aliens or UFOs and so on and so forth, like, there's so many different theories, whether they're true or not, whether you're a believer, whether you're not a believer. And I'm not like arguing with someone that's not a believer. I'm just looking at all the things that are put out for display,
Yes.
if you will.
Yeah.
You have, what is it, Bashar? So Bashar is a entity from another realm, or from another planet, or so on and so forth. And he is known to have spoken through someone named Daryl or Darren. There's like older videos in which have been circulating on TikTok, and where, he's supposed to be an alien that uses his telepathy through this particular person. And years ago, he was communicating through this person and giving different groups or crowds of people basically the information or advice to reach their higher selves.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like touching like God complexes or anything like that. It was just from what I've gotten from it, just more of, we as humans have become so robotic and so confined to the negative energies around us, or our bad day you know, some people can have a bad day and like never think about it again. And then like you have a person like me who, like, I might have a bad day, but for whatever reason, my brain will go into this mode where it's not necessarily that I'm dwelling in the bad day. It's just now I feel like every step that I take, I have to watch a crack or go left instead of right on my daily routine to make sure that I don't have a bad day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But like, I'll send you those videos too, because they are very interesting. And like, it does give a lot more information, detail wise. But there are other people in which, like, are children of like Anunnaki.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah, and like, I've started seeing those circulate, and like, that's becoming like very frequent that they're starting to pop up on my timelines. And it's really interesting because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to be an alien baby, like, you know, like,
I'm dead.
you know, but like, it's one specific child of that, you know, claims to be a child of the Anunnaki. She proclaims to have teleported to her mother's womb. Yeah, during the pregnancy. And so, you know, her mother births her, which technically is like a hybrid. And technically humans are considered a hybrid species of aliens. And I've, you know, referring to that specifically, I know I'm jumping into different theories, but it said that in our DNA, we have what's called the worship gene. Yeah. And so in our DNA, that was, as so the conspiracy said, that specific gene was inputted into our DNA strand. So it's mind-boggling, all of the stuff that realms around these conspiracies and how they sort of intertwine if you start putting certain theories together. But with that specific conspiracy theory about our DNA and how humans are hybrid species of hybrid species of alien, that, so the gray people or gray aliens, if you guys are familiar with those, so that is, to me, I feel like that's a typical standard alien that
Is that
everyone
the one with
knows.
the big head and the big black
Yes.
eyes and the ones we see when it's like we talking about paranormal activities
Yes.
and stuff like that?
So that
Crystal, your face.
so that specific species, now
That's her worst fear ones. Okay.
so
All of them are.
So
All
what's
of them.
interesting about that is that they are what's in this conspiracy, they are not as harmful as we think. And the reason for that is because during their lifetime or planet, they were a very high technical society in which they developed so much that they are not pigmented. They did not have sun. They did not have, you know,
Eyes is
XYZ,
black.
because everything was technical. And so eventually they destroyed their planet. So it's said that what they did was come to Earth, our planet, and create us in hopes, because their species no longer interpreted or could communicate feeling. And they could not, you know, have intercourse like our species can and create a child, you know, and so on and so forth as that goes forward. So eventually they evolutionized to the gray people. And so they came here to create us, but in terms of, if you will, abducting us, That's where the fear is. And I guess necessarily the reason why they've been or have abducted people was to see the different strands of species that they created. Because technically to them, yes, we are humans, but we are all different versions of human.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there's just a lot with, because all the different, I mean, to have a worship gene put in, and then we were created by.
But the worship gene didn't come from aliens. It came from the government.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
This gene, and then the Naki kids, and then being created by aliens. There's a lot happening right there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, aliens just, I don't know. I have this
Mind you,
fear.
Crystal is afraid of aliens.
Yes.
All right, Criss is afraid of aliens. But tell you, put on a paranormal TV show, and they talk about aliens. She's right here.
Yes and no, and that's only recently. That's only recently. And I'll be honest with you, those are the times where you'll see me zone out. Because I don't want to hear it. I don't. Those will be the times where I'll be on my phone, or I'm like, let me just fast forward through this part, which I have done. Or I'm just like, let me just let it finish, because I will zone out on those parts. Those are not the parts I want to hear. Because I don't know. I just had that fear since I was a child. And it's not like consciously nothing specific except for X-Files.
Yeah.
And, my two biggest fears as a child was sponges and aliens. So I'm not gonna, so we're not gonna like, sponges is just, it was what it was. I was a germaphobe. So I didn't like germs, and I felt like bacteria was on these things, and I didn't want such a damn sponge. So I didn't want to deal with that. And then I didn't want to deal with aliens. X-Files did not help that. And there was a show back then that always dealt with people experiencing alien abductions or aliens coming to their house or something. It was on Fox 5. I remember that. It was on the same night as like freaking X-Files. For me, too damn much. And I was like, not for me. I don't want to deal with it. And my mom was always like, what if you did meet one? And
Right.
it's best that I don't know that I met them. It's fine if they was in my face. Just don't let me know you was in my face as an alien.
Right.
That is the one time in my, I'm okay with being blind.
Right.
Aliens is the only thing. It's fine.
I mean, look.
I'm a Trekkie.
Right.
I love watching Star Treks.
Same Z's.
You know what I'm saying? I think exploration of the stars, that's great and all. I let other people do it. Let them explore. Let them meet the Klingons and the Vulcans and all of that. And, introduce them properly to society. But if they're hiding among us and they haven't said nothing, and that I've met one or two and I don't know about it, I'm okay with that too.
You probably have, look, as a person who lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I know for a fact I've seen a UFO in the sky. That was my teenage years. I was hanging out on the roof, and I was looking up, and the star moved. I said, nope. And rolled the freak back in the house.
Right.
But, New Mexico is huge for their UFO sightings and Roswell, all that. It's huge. Like, I've never seen a population so huge. And the Anunnaki, I've heard about that since high school. And especially with the Native Americans, because I went to school with tons of Native Americans. So all of that, you never know. And especially and even if you pull up this alien thing, higher beings and the pyramids and these structures that we cannot replicate now, even though we have the technology.
Right.
How the Sphinx made? How they do that? We have no books, no nothing to show how these were done. Even in ancient hieroglyphics, there are beings on there that are not the gods and not the humans, but are other beings that look of alien descent. So we have been visited multiple times by different beings that I can say, like the desert, they like hot. They don't do cold.
Good to know. good.
But
to
see,
know.
that's also, we also have to take in consideration with why. You know what I'm saying? Why?
I'm good not knowing.
Because, but like, if you think about all the sightings and XYZ, like, when you,
Okay. No, go
like, when you start to dig into the conspiracy theory or realm, especially with aliens and like alien sightings and
Won't be doing that.
XYZ, like,
She said, "But go ahead, I hear you."
like, there's just so many crazy stories because everyone's like shooketh about what's up there, and I get that. I totally get that. But if an alien came down, knocked on my door, and said, "Your world is trash. Come with us to ours. We'll show you how to live forever." Yes, 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 yes. Why? Because I guarantee that y'all don't have the Kraken like we do. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not as scared as the beings coming to my house or my street floating over me. I'm not that nervous about it. I'm nervous if you don't take my wife with me because I don't know nobody, homeboy. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a
Like,
random
I need a partner.
Yeah, that's like a random college party. You know what? I can't go alone. I need somebody to talk to because you're my scapegoat. But what I'm not doing is hopping on a cruise ship.
To be in the middle of the water.
Right. Where I
I'm
can't swim.
so-
I can't swim.
That's crazy wild. I would literally do the opposite.
She would.
That's crazy.
I would
to me.
legit do the opposite. And the thing about it is I would still be scared, but I'd rather be in the water. I don't like the idea of a large ass sea creature that could swallow up my whole boat.
Right.
But I'd prefer it over
Not I.
this thing floating in the sky, and I'm like, that ain't Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I think when you were saying why, I think the reason why they go to like more of the deserted areas or deserts is because you can see. Mm-hmm. I mean, why would you go to a big city with lights that you can't really see? You know, I feel like the lights, especially in big cities, really contribute to invisibility from a certain height. Mm-hmm. Everything, like, especially when you're coming in a flight. Mm-hmm. When you're coming in a flight at night, tell me that everything doesn't look like one big mass of a light.
True.
From a distance until you start getting closer and closer. And the thing about the lights is the closer you get, the brighter we see you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably one idea of why. And I'm not saying that they haven't still come regardless. Mm-hmm. But I do think the more lights there are, the more that they don't want to be seen. There's a reason why they're up there hiding to view us. But again, it's lights bring out the, we always say good to the light. You know, everything comes to light.
I think you're right in that aspect. But I also think a lot of them come to cities because when they were there before, there was no light. Couldn't see.
No, yeah, but we were asking
technologically advanced.
Right. The question was why though they go to like deserts and stuff, then they come
because they used to go there all the time.
No,
like,
not only
look,
that.
There was one that just got shown. I saw it the other day. It was in Cali.
Yeah.
And it was people saw it from the highway.
Yeah.
There were tons of witnesses.
Right.
That saw these lights in the sky.
Right.
Now, if you think 100 years ago, there was no highway there. There were no lights.
Right.
So they're going to places where last time I visited, there was nothing there. I just, but now I'm there and they're like, oh, snapskis. Mm-hmm. People could see me. So it's
but that doesn't even mean like they could also just be new. There's no evidence to say that they're not. No, they
got their maps from the crop circles, Crystal.
Get the flip out of here. What I'm saying is it doesn't mean that they're just coming back to visit. That could also mean like we have a vast world. Space is way bigger than our little planet. So there could be other beings coming and seeing and not knowing. So I can't put all my pot in one cookie and say, all my cookies in one pot and say that this is what
girl, how you
already know. I can't put all my cookies in one pot and say that these are just, visitors coming back. This could also just be new visitors in general. What I'm saying is, I think the purpose of why they mostly go to deserted areas, or why they go to places that are flatter, or places that don't have like these massive structures like skyscrapers and stuff, is because of the lights and stuff. New York is known for lights. We are known for. I can look up and not see a lot of stars compared to when we went to New Mexico. We go to Florida and I sit there and I look up, I can see all the stars.
Every single one.
I can see them all. Do you get what I'm saying? And one of those stars is an alien ship hiding among the stars. You get what I'm saying? Compared to the city, where I could literally sit there and go, I see very few stars because the lights shine against the stars and they dim them. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that we haven't been visited by aliens here in New York. Most likely. I mean, we got billions of people. All of them just can't just be human.
Upstate.
But
Right.
I am saying...
Definitely upstate.
But I am saying that the likelihood is the reason the other places have more alien sightings is because of that. They can easily hide amongst the stars more than they can here in the city. That's just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. That's all.
In the next 2 weeks, you'll hear reports.
If you see me packing, you know.
I'm gonna be outside
You're
on the
ready.
roof with a sign.
You
Come
are,
home, pick me up.
and I'm just
I'm ready to
like,
go, brother.
her solo with her wife.
Right, right. I need
it.
my sidekick.
That's it. That's wild. For me, the moon thing is a little wild, only because it's like a standard image when we look up at the sky. I always like looking up at the moon in general, especially when it's like a super moon, or like when it's a harvest moon, or like there are times where the moon looks so like you could like see the details in it, like because it's so damn close.
Right.
And I've seen that. Like that's like to me, wow. I'm like, why are we so damn close to the moon? And I always want to. You know how you watch a video game, and the whole background is the freaking half of the moon. I always wait for that to happen because I'm always like, when does that happen? Because I want to know like why we so damn close, and I want to see the details. But the fact that it might be basically fake is just crazy. That part for me is crazy. So. That gonna bother me a little while because I'm look at you. You not real. You not real. So that's gonna be wild for me.
Yeah. I like looking at the moon though.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Energizes my stones.
Right.
Give me some moon water, even though I haven't done it in a while. Little things. Little things. But I enjoy I enjoy moonwalks and things like that. So
I'm done.
Big ball in the sky.
I'm gonna mess y'all up a little bit.
No.
Nah, I won't do it because I like this food item too.
What we talking about, Willis?
Corn?
So
Corn
no,
ain't real.
No, I love corn. I love corn. No, but so I was shown a video recently. And now I can't find it, which is the craziest thing. So basically, in a nutshell, the question of that video was, where are we getting oxtail from? And where are all the ox?
I'm done.
And so I started to think.
Y'all face it.
I started to think very heavily. And I said, I don't know. And I love it. And I don't know how to go about it because
I already see my partner saying, and this is why I don't eat that.
Oh my gosh.
like if anybody knows.
I saw a video where a guy had a tail, but I don't know if it was a cow or oxtail, but he stripped the tail and he chopped it up and made oxtail. I saw that. I did see that video, but I didn't see him chop it off the animal.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He already had the tail in his hand.
Right.
So
Right.
you got me thinking.
So, do we want to Google this?
No, I sure don't.
No. No, because
Sure don't. Beef was already sketchy to me before.
We saw many a cow in Florida.
No, but remember back in the day when they used to say, I don't know if
Mad
you
cow
remember.
disease.
No. Back in the day. You're doing the most. You doing the most right now. No, remember back in the day, I don't know if anyone else remembers hearing this, but remember they used to say like beef? I remember how like if you eat beef, right, and it has like sometimes that fattiness in it, but people were saying that that's not actual fat. That's actually like glue, and that they were gluing. Remember it, and that when you're cooking it, what they're cooking it, that's actually glue that's melting. That's not fat. What you're chewing and you're thinking, oh, that's just like the fat of the cow or whatever. No, that it was actually glue, so that they were gluing beef. Yeah, let me tell you, when I stopped eating beef for a while, and it was usually they say it's the chunks, you know, like the chunk of meat. I stopped eating that meat for a while. Like my mama couldn't get me to eat that for a while because I was like, I'm not eating no damn glue. So that was like something that I remember hearing a while ago, like years and years, over 10 years ago. And I was like, what are they doing to my meat? You know, and it got me off of meat for a while. So now you're talking about oxtail. And I'm going, oh, it's bringing back the trauma.
right.
So,
Right.
what if, just saying, the oxtail isn't, since we don't know where the ox is,
Oh, God.
we've just supplemented said ox for cow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, but tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me know that it's a real viable animal and I'm not eating
Something
a
else.
reptilian's tail
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
or like
I
something
feel like
crazy.
the bones are really big for a reptilian, but I get what you mean.
It could
I
be
don't
a
want it
dragon.
to be.
Komodo dragon. Like a
just don't want
dragon.
it to be another meat. I get you though. Because oxtail, when you go to the store, it's fucking expensive. Excuse my French, but it is.
It never used to be.
It
that
is
expensive.
so damn. My mama used to cook it in the
pressure cooker.
In the pressure cooker. Big ups to everybody who
all
know what
day.
the pressure cooker.
All day in the
Because
pressure
people
cooker.
don't be
The one
making
with
it. People don't be making the
at the
pressure
top.
cooker no more. But big ups to everybody who know the pressure cooker. But and then that would be an all day thing too. Like she'll start that like mid morning, and that would go to afternoon.
Until afternoon. You ain't eating that oxtail till like 4, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that took all day with that. But she used to buy it, and it wasn't as expensive as today. Now you got me like,
Right. Because I was like stumped. I said,
man, I'm gonna find a video.
I'ma Google it.
And then I
I'm
just,
not
like-
Googling it.
like a
Don't
couple
Google
of weeks
everything.
ago,
I don't
I'm
wanna
eating
see.
the oxtail and like it popped back up in my head and I said, wow, here I am still eating it. You know?
100%. You're like, it's still good.
I got
Right.
y'all right now. Like Google has already answered this question for
I'm
us.
so done.
Okay, where is
Was
it?
it cow?
All right. I'm
It's
gonna read
cow.
it straight from Google's mouth, which came from Prime Meat LLC.
I'm done.
It says oxtail is the tail of a cow. A long time ago, it came from the tail of an ox, but now it comes from the tail of a cow of either sex. So you got cow or bull. The tail is skinned and cut into sections. Each section has a tailbone with some marrow in the center and a bony portion of meat around it surrounding the tail.
Okay.
All right, I can live with that. It's
Y'all feel
beef.
better?
All right, mystery solved, y'all.
2.5 seconds. I can live with that. But you know, it's still.
But it's very it is because back in the day it was ox or oxen.
Yeah.
You know, so now they could have just said cowtail, but a lot of people don't want to eat cowtail. So we're gonna keep calling it oxtail.
Right.
And even then, some people still don't want to eat it.
Right.
My partner's still like, nah,
Crystal partner.
dub.
I
No,
will
no.
tear it up.
He's like, dub. I'm not eating that.
God damn, you gonna mess me up.
Oh, you almost got me twisted, girl.
I was scared to know what you were gonna read.
I was scared about what I was going
Because-
here because I will, with the quickness, I will dump all.
We are Caribbean people. That is part of the staple.
Right. Oh my goodness, that's wild. All right, guys. Well, I don't know. any other topics. But you know, if there's anything here that you were interested or liked hearing, let us know. What else do you want to hear pertaining to any kind of topics, conversations, and we'll definitely do our best to talk about them.
While you're waiting for our next release, here's a question for the audience.
Ooh.
Tell us about some of your wild, weirdest dates.
Oh,
I like that question.
my first date.
We're going to have to talk about that next time. I like that question. Wildest or weirdest dates? I like that. Yeah. Let's hear what some of y'all have to say. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to My Kind of Convo. Definitely look out for us posting every Tuesday as of right now on our Instagram and Facebook. We'll just be posting some clips. And then soon we'll be coming out with a YouTube and definitely some other social medias and definitely on some podcast streams. And as soon as we do that, we'll definitely let you know when we'll be uploading and posting those and what our schedule look like for that. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.